The fall down is not because they were made into brahmacharis or sannyasis and that's why they fell down. No, 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 no. Because they did not follow. Because they became lax in their service. That's why they fell down. So to make the blame on, oh, because we made them sannyasis, that's why they fell down. That's wrong. The argument is wrong totally. And even if they did fall down, whatever they did will be to their credit. Their 100% seva what they did will help them in future when they come back. So, I mean, there are so many such contentions, but don't associate with this kind of people who advocate this as philosophy. So you're saying, for me, Prabhupada's words are the truth, and the reasoning doesn't matter. Okay, good. Now,
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Umagnanatimmirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate कुपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वाकता कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृद्यन्तस्तो यभद्राणि विदुनुति सुहृत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भागवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So today we continue Canto 3, Chapter 32. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. So who wants to read first today? Okay, I can read the first verse. Jnanam ekam parachinair indriyair brahmanirgunam avabhajartarupena prantya shabdadi word to word. Jnanam, knowledge, ekam, one, parachinai, averse, indriyai, by the senses, Brahma, the supreme absolute truth, nirgunam, beyond the material modes, avabhati, appears, artarupena, in the form of various objects, brantya, mistakenly, shabda adi, sound, and so on, dharmina, endowed with. Translation. Those who are averse to the transcendence realize the supreme absolute truth differently through speculative sense perception, and therefore, because of mistaken speculation, everything appears to them to be relative. Be nice verse. 332:28. Oh, we don't have it. 1 second. Three, two, 320, what it was? 332:28.
What does that mean, Prabhu? Everything seems to be related.
Yes, Prabhu, they only see the relative truth.
Hmm.
I think it's explained in the purport.
Yes, sure.
They cannot see the remote cause, they only see the relative causes and the immediate cause.
Hmm.
Purport
Yeah, got it.
by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The supreme absolute truth, the person of God, it is one, and he is spread everywhere by his impersonal feature. This is clearly expressed in Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna says, everything that is experienced is but an expansion of my energy. Everything is sustained by him, but that does not mean that he is in everything. Sense perception, such as oral perception of the sound of a drum, visual perception of a beautiful woman, or perception of the delicious taste of milk preparation by the tongue, all come through different senses and are therefore differently understood. Therefore, sensory knowledge is divided in different categories, although actually everything is one as a manifestation of the energy of the Supreme Lord. Similarly, the energies of fire are heat and illumination, and by these two energies, fire can display itself in many varieties, or in diversified sense perception. Mayavadi philosophers declare this diversity to be false, but Vaishnava philosophers do not accept the different manifestations as false. They accept them as non-different from the Supreme Person of Godhead because they are a display of his diverse energies. The philosophy that the Absolute is true and this creation is false, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, is not accepted by Vaishnava philosophers. The example is given that although all the glitter is not gold, this does not mean that the glittering object is false. For example, an oyster shell appears to be golden. This appearance of golden hue is due only to the perception of the eyes, but that does not mean that the oyster shell is false. Similarly, by seeing the form of Lord Krishna, one cannot understand what he actually is, but this does not mean that he is false. The form of Krishna has to be understood as it is described in the books of knowledge, such as Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as an eternal blissful spiritual body. By our imperfect sense perception, we cannot understand the form of the Lord. We have to acquire knowledge about him. Therefore it is said, Their jnana may come. Bhagavad Gita confirms that they are fools who simply upon seeing Krishna consider him a common man. They do not know that they do not know the unlimited knowledge, power, and opulence of Supreme Person of Godhead. Material sense speculation leads to the conclusion that the Supreme is formless. It is because of such mental speculation that the conditioned soul remains in ignorance, under the spell of illusory energy. The Supreme Person has to be understood by the transcendental sound vibrated by him in Bhagavad Gita, wherein he says that there is nothing superior to himself. The impersonal Brahman effulgence is resting on his personality. The purified absolute vision of Bhagavad Gita is compared to the river Ganga. Ganga water is so pure that it can purify even the asses and the cows. But anyone who disregarding the pure Ganga wishes to be purified instead by the filthy water flowing in a drain cannot be successful. Similarly, one can successfully attain pure knowledge of the Absolute only by hearing from the pure Absolute himself. In this verse, it is clearly said that those who are averse to the Supreme Person of Godhead speculate with their imperfect senses about the nature of the Absolute Truth. The formless Brahman conception, however, can be received only by oral reception and not by personal experience. Knowledge is therefore acquired by oral reception. It is confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra Shastra Yonitvat. One has to acquire pure knowledge from the authorized scriptures. So-called speculative arguments about the absolute truth are therefore useless. The actual identity of the living entity is his consciousness, which is always present while the living entity is awake, dreaming, or in deep sleep. Even in deep sleep, he can perceive by consciousness whether he is happy or distressed. Thus, when consciousness. Yes, true. And when they wake up, they say, I slept good or bad. But if you were not conscious, how you know if you slept good or bad?
Yeah, that's a good point, Prabhu. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Thus, when consciousness is displayed through the medium of the subtle and gross material bodies, it is covered. But when the consciousness is purified in Krishna consciousness, one becomes free from the entanglement of repeated birth and death. When uncontaminated pure knowledge is uncovered from the modes of material nature, then the actual identity of the living entity is discovered. He is eternally a servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The process of uncovering is like this. The rays of sunshine are luminous, and the sun itself is also luminous. In the presence of the sun, the rays illuminates just like the sun. But when the sunshine is covered by the spell of a cloud or by Maya, then darkness, the imperfection of perception, begins. Therefore, to get out of the entanglement of the spell of nescience, one has to awaken his spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness in terms of the authorized scriptures.
Prabhu, everything is sustained by him, but that does not mean that he is in everything. But he is
Yes,
in everything, right, Prabhu? He is also in the atoms. Then the
yes,
smallest
Prabhu.
in the Brahma Samhita, we know that he's in the atom also. He's very small. Smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest also.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Paramatma is there.
So what does it mean, Prabhu? It's said in the purport, everything is sustained by him, but that does not mean he's in everything. He's still in everything, but
Yes, Prabhu. It's not like he's in like personally there, but he's sustaining it. Similarly, like like the government is everywhere, but it's not like that the government officer is standing everywhere in the
Oh,
building.
yes. Yes, like that.
The presence is there everywhere, and yeah. But also the person is there also, but that's Paramatma. It's not the Krishna form, the 200
Oh,
form.
yes. Oh, that like that. Okay, understood. It's the expansion. It's not exactly Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. But yeah, this I can see every day because when you ask about any cause, about anything from someone, and you try to lead them to the ultimate cause, they will only give you relative causes. Always they will. Science is like this. They try to find only their relative cause. It will go until the Big Bang. Why something happened, this and that, and but they cannot find the ultimate cause. Like why baby is born. We can explain that the relative cause is because man and woman is having sex, and then this from this the baby is born. But the ultimate cause is that the soul enters. So this is the remote cause that is not seen. But people only see, the materialistic
Yes,
people only
Prabhu.
see everything relative to the
Yes, Prabhu.
senses.
Yes, Prabhu. They only see that baby is formed because of the sperm and the ovum, but they don't see how the sperm and ovum can form a life without another energy.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, the consciousness piece they don't see immediately. Like for example, if even if a person has died in front of them, they say that the heart has stopped beating, and that's why the body is not functioning,
Oh,
and the brain is
yeah,
also
this
not
is
functioning.
another good example. Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
and then they don't understand like okay, this is also mental recombination. Like if I make the heart beat, like they try to artificially make the heart beat in the hospital. Like they apply the two machines on your chest and then try to increase the beat, but still it doesn't like revive your consciousness. So I think they should at least understand by that if everything is possible with just the heartbeat beating, then if they can artificially make the heart beat, then it should work. Then the person should be alive, but it's not the case.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, this is true.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, during the heart transplant, if how does it take place? I want to say because the soul is in the heart, right?
Yes, Prabhu. Then it just changes to the other heart. It's like
So, Prabhu,
it's like a seed. The heart is like a seed only, and then the soul goes to the other. But not every time it works. And every time the soul goes there to the new heart. But yeah, it's like that. The soul changes to the other heart. Because it's just like a seed. When you take one seed out, then put another seed, then the soul sits to the other seed.
Prabhu, like, but immediate it should be now, Prabhu. So, like, if the body, like, if the body leaves the soul, like, sorry, the from the body the soul leaves, like, they are transplanting the heart, na. That time, the body is dead only, na. Again, how we can give the heart and something like that. We can revive our consciousness, something. How does it work, Prabhu?
Technically, because I'm not heart surgeon, I don't know what they do, but I know that. But they keep the other heart alive. Like the other one is
Ah,
kept pumping, and then they
mm.
It's not that the person dies in between. They keep him alive
Yeah,
artificially.
Prabhu, somewhat artificially I think they have a secondary step. From the first step, the heart is beating, and the second step is they remove the heart, but they don't remove the heart without the blood flowing through the body.
Yes,
So whatever
Prabhu.
function the heart is doing, they are doing that with the machine, and then they bring in the third step is they transplant the new heart. So the
Okay.
function of the body is still happening even without the heart for that brief period.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, like if the heart is not there, how it's going to work, Prabhu?
It is there,
Like
Prabhu.
the soul is also not there, and the heart
It's
is also
a,
not
it's a
there.
good conversation.
Here
Mm,
is something.
if once the soul is like once the soul is come out from the body, then the man is dead. No,
Yes, Prabhu.
so like how they will do that?
They will put. There will be like two hearts at the same time. Then they will put. Then they will
Okay.
take the other heart off. It. There will be artificial pumping. So it's like the man has. There is first one bad heart that it's not working properly. Then they put in machine that gives him like an extra pumping. They make that pumping artificially work. Then they remove the other heart. No, I think then they plug in the other heart and make it pump properly, and then they remove the other heart. But let's see what here it is said in this conversation. But it's not
Mm.
that he will be heartless, that they remove the one heart and then they put the other heart and then suddenly he wakes up again. It's not like that.
Yes, bro, we can see this conversation. It was very nice. I think.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhupada going to the
His Swarup Damodar. Shla Prabhupada, what about the heart transplant? The spirit soul is within the heart, but when in the medical science nowadays, the old heart can be replaced by a new one. So what happens with the spirit soul with the old one? Yeah, this is a nice point, but that does not mean that the new ones will increase the duration of life. That is our challenge. Swarup Damodar. But the personality is changed? Prabhupada, no. Why not? Prabhupada, why change? Suppose if I sit from this chair to this chair, why am I changed? I can change my seat. It does not mean that I'm changed. Karandar, change the heart also. The heart can change. Prabhupada, the heart is sitting place. Swarup Damodar, but new heart had spirit soul from the new one. Prabhupada, spirit soul, new or old there is, but if you can prove by changing the heart you can increase the duration of life, then you can catch the spirit soul. Karandar, that they are not able to do. Prabhupada, that is their nonsense. Balimardan, none of them lived very long. Yeah, they did. Prabhupada, no, they cannot be, because by karmana daivanetrena, by superior arrangement, karmana, you have got this body, so you have to live within this body a certain age. So if you change the body new, that does not mean you prolong your life. That is not possible. It is the duration of life that is considered. They are thinking by changing the heart they will increase the duration of life. That is not possible. Yeah, I just saw a study about this, that most persons who get any organ transplant, they mostly die in within a short amount of years. There was a study like this. Swarup Damodar. So it is some sort of artificial transmigration, Prabhupada. Yes, like that. That transmigration taken. That is already explained in Bhagavad Gita. Just like a baby becomes a child, child becomes a boy, boy becomes youth. Like that. Transmigration, it is going on continually. This is another type of transmigration. So it is a fact that by changing the heart, the duration is not. But Balimardan, no, most of them they have lived very short times, but still it is a fact that the soul is transplanted from one body to another body. Prabhupada, that can be done, yes. Sometimes yogis they can perform that better body. he transfers himself into that body. Just Sankaracharya did, yes. Karandar. What they do, though, they wait till someone's dying or dead, and immediate after they die, they take the heart from somebody who had the weak heart, they transplant, change the heart. Prabhupada, so what? There is no benefit. Karandar, but that does not mean that the soul from the old heart or the new heart is being changed into the new body. The soul has already left. Yes, Prabhu. So they will, it's like two seeds, because the heart is like a seed. They will have the soul sit on a temporary seat while they change the new heart there. It's like just changing the seat while artificially keeping the soul around by pumping the blood within the body.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot
Like,
that can be done like this. Many things that can be done with the body and the like this. But it
the
won't
karma is
increase.
same, no, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
The karma is same for the old body and the
Yes,
new
Prabhu.
body. Same, no?
Yeah, because the rich people now they talk about this often, and they think that if they change the heart always to young heart, they will live forever and like 200 years or something, but it doesn't work. If it worked, if it was simple like that, that you can just change the heart and like this and become young again, then all these rich people, they would live like they would be living all the time, but it's not working because the karma is the same.
But it also danger only, no, Prabhu. If it was very crucial, because if something went wrong, the person will die also.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, mostly they don't work. They usually
Yes,
they
Prabhu.
try and mostly they don't work, but sometimes it can happen.
Mm.
But yes,
That's
Prabhupada
also
says here there is some yogis who can take someone else's body like this. So they even this can happen. And I've heard sometimes also that when there is some really like traumatic experience for like two persons, sometimes the bodies can also switch, that they switch bodies. I've heard also something like this, that the
mean,
souls,
Prabhu.
sometimes I've heard that the souls somehow they have like switched bodies. And there is also some in the like modern age we have some stories like this, that someone has had some accident and he wakes up and he knows how to speak some completely new language, or he's completely different suddenly.
Yeah, that's like that's I have seen, bro. Like after the accident, the man will be for some time he will talk nonsense, something like that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Actually,
But this is like they, someone who never spoke like Spanish, suddenly they speak perfect Spanish. Like they learned some new thing that they never knew. So this sometimes happens also.
That means that some other soul is there in that
I'm
body.
not sure. Actually, I'm
What
not
is it?
sure what
What's
then.
happening?
Yeah, I don't remember what the exact thing was, but I've heard this in relation to the uh, possibility that the souls can switch bodies, but I don't know what in this case happens, because they still seem to be like the same person, but they just know something new. But I'm not sure. Maybe they just, yeah, I'm not sure what happens actually there. But it
like
is a fact
Prabhupada
that
told,
the souls can change the like the heart like that, and it's not that the one soul is tied to one body.
yeah, Prabhupada told that there is no use after changing also.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I think it just decreases the life duration, because doing such surgery is it's really requires a lot from the body to survive such. Imagine your heart is getting cut open, you lose so much blood, and this surely you lose a lot of your life age doing such things. So I think this is why the rich people don't try this, because you will just do more harm than you could gain days.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. They understand all of that with their own expert doctors, so they don't try all of that.
Yes, Prabhu. They're not convinced enough that it would work.
Yes.
It's also a sinful act, no, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. I think it's quite like violent act, but I don't know how this works. Maybe there is, because I know there is some scriptures where all these surgeries and things are explained more in detail. I don't know if it's which scriptures they are, but all these come from like Vedic scriptures. This is really a science how to do even the surgeries.
That's true.
And usually they didn't used to be this gross. They used to do it more subtly, because here you can also say that the yogis can transform themselves into another bodies, but they do it subtly. They don't have to like cut the heart open and try to remove something and try to move the heart. And
Yeah, Prabhu, that's also one thing. But the material people will do something uh, sometimes are transferring, but the yogis and all things they will do by the uh, like by their austerities or something like that, Prabhu. They will do tapasya for that also.
yes, Prabhu.
I sent you an image, Prabhu, Kavi Prabhu, in the WhatsApp. That's the image that Nivanita Prabhu shared today morning. He said, Sushruta
Mhm.
is the father of surgery. And similarly, in all the material sciences, there has been, in Vedic times, there have been multiple different acharyas or
Yes, Prabhu.
experts.
Yes, Prabhu. There is where the surgeries come also.
Oh, Shankaracharya did? Don't answer another body.
Yes, Prabhu. That I'm not sure what that meant. Or yeah, here it was. Sankaracharya also transferred his body, it seems like.
Oh,
Hmm. Yeah, this was talked about many times actually.
Ashkacharya Sutruta Nagarjuna 0 to March.
Prabhu, we can continue reading.
Yes, Prabhu. Let's see this quickly, this conversation. Hridayananda, he asked about heart transplant. Where does the soul go in heart transplant when they change the heart from one body to another? He's asking about that. Heart changing? Hanuman, no. Now they're doing this heart transplantation. They're taking the heart of one person. Prabhupada. The soul changes from this heart to that heart. That's all. Just like you're running your car, it stops, then you change this car to that car. That's all. Laughter. This is it. It is very common thing. Yeah, Prabhupada explains it's always the same way. Okay, Haribol. Now we continue. One straight next.
I can read, Prabhu, if that's okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
यथा महान अहम रूप स्त्रीवृत् पंचविध स्वरात् एकादशविधस्तस्य वपुरन्दं जगत् यथा as Mahan, the Mahat Tattva, Aham Rupaha, the false ego, Trivrit, the three modes of material nature, Panchavidaha, the five material elements, Parat, the individual consciousness, Ekadasha Vidaha, the 11 senses, Tasya, of the living entity, Vapuhu, the material body, Andam, the Brahmanda, Jagat, universe, Yataha, from which or from whom. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. From the total energy, the Mahat Tattva, I have manifested the false ego, the three modes of material nature, the five material elements, the individual consciousness, the 11 senses, and the material body. Similarly, the entire universe has come from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. The Supreme Lord is described as Mahat Pada, which means that the total material energy known as the Mahat Tattva is lying at his lotus feet. The origin of the total energy of the cosmic manifestation is the Mahat Tattva. From the Mahat Tattva, all the other 24 divisions have sprung, namely the 11 senses, including the mind, the 5 sense objects, the 5 material elements, and then consciousness, intelligence, and false ego. The Supreme Personality of God is the cause of the Mahat Tattva. And therefore, in one sense, because everything is an emanation from the Supreme Lord, there is no difference between the Lord and the cosmic manifestation. But at the same time, the cosmic manifestation is different from the Lord. The word Swarat is very significant here. Swarat means independent. The Supreme Lord is independent, and the individual soul is also independent. Although there is no comparison between the two qualities of independence, the living entity is minutely independent, and the Supreme Lord is fully independent. As the individual soul has a material body made of 5 elements and the senses, the Supreme Independent Lord similarly has a gigantic body of the universe. The individual body is temporary. Similarly, the entire universe, which is considered to be the body of the Supreme Lord, is also temporary. And both the individual and the universal bodies are products of the Mahat Tattva. One has to understand the differences with intelligence. Everyone knows that this material body has developed from a spiritual spark. And similarly, the universal body has developed from the supreme spark, super soul. As the individual body develops from the individual soul, so the gigantic body of the universe develops from the supreme soul. Just as the individual soul has consciousness, so the supreme soul is also conscious. But although there is a similarity between the consciousness of the supreme soul and the consciousness of the individual soul's consciousness is limited, whereas the consciousness of the supreme soul is unlimited. This is described in Bhagavad Gita. Kshetrajnanam kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi. Mam vidhi. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, verse 3. The super soul is present in every field of activity, just as the individual soul is present in the individual body. Both of them are conscious. The difference is that the individual soul is conscious of the individual body only, whereas the super soul is conscious of the total number of individual bodies. Can I read another one, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
X30. एतद्वै श्रद्धया भक्त्या योगाभ्यासेन नित्यशः समाहितात्मा संगो viratya paripashyati. Etat, this, why, certainly. Shraddhayaha, with faith. Bhaktya, by devotional service. Yoga abhyasena, by practice of yoga. Nityasaha, always. Samahita atma, he whose mind is fixed. Nishangaha, aloof from material association. Viratya, by detachment. Paripashyati, understands. Translation and purport by J.N.J. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. This perfect knowledge can be achieved by a person who is already engaged in devotional service with faith, steadiness, and full detachment, and who is always absorbed in the thought of the Supreme. He is aloof from material association. full detachment. Purport. The atheistic mystic practitioner of yoga cannot understand this perfect knowledge. Only persons who engage in the practical activities of devotional service in full Krishna consciousness can become absorbed in full samadhi. It is possible for them to see and understand the actual fact of the entire cosmic manifestation and its cause. It is clearly stated here that this is not possible for one who has not developed devotional service in full faith to understand. The words samahitatma and samadhi are synonymous. Text 31. इति एतत् कथितं पूर्वी ज्ञानं तद्ब्रह्मदर्शनं येनानुबुध्यते तत्त्वं प्रकृते पुरुषस्य च हि. Thus, etat, this katitham described. Gurvi, O respectful mother, Jnanam, knowledge, that Brahma, the absolute truth, Darshanam, revealing, Ena, by which Anubudhyate is understood. Tattvam, the truth, Prakriti of matter, Purushasya of spirit, Cha, and translation. My dear respectful mother, I have already described the path of understanding the absolute truth, by which one can come to understand the real truth of matter and spirit and their relationship. Text 32. Jnana yogascha mannisto nairgunyo bhakti lakshanaha dayorapi eka evato bhagavacchatta sakshanaha. Jnana yoga, philosophical research. Cha and mat nistaha, directed towards me. Nairgunyaha, free from material modes of nature. Bhakti, devotional service. Lakshanaha, named. Dvayoho, of both. Api, moreover. Eka, one. Eva, certainly. Arthaha, purpose. Bhagavat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shabda, by the word. Lakshanaha, signified. Translation. Philosophical research culminates in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After achieving this understanding, when one becomes free from material modes of nature, he attains a stage of devotional service. Either by devotional service directly or by philosophical research, one has to find the same destination, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that after many lives of philosophical research, the wise man ultimately comes to the point of knowing that Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is everything, and therefore he surrenders unto him. Such serious students in philosophical research are rare because they are very great souls. If by philosophical research one cannot come to the point of understanding the Supreme Person, then his task is not finished. His search in knowledge is still to be continued until he comes to the point of understanding the Supreme Lord in devotional service. The opportunity for direct touch with the personality of God is given in Bhagavad Gita, where it is also said that those who take to other processes, namely the process of philosophical speculation and mystic yoga practice, have much trouble. After many years of much trouble, a yogi or a wise philosopher may come to him, but his path is very troublesome. Whereas the path of devotional service is easy for everyone. One can achieve the result of wise philosophical speculation simply by discharging devotional service. And unless one reaches the point of the personality of Godhead by mental speculation, then all his research work is said to be simply a labor of love. Labor of love. The ultimate destination of the wise philosopher is to merge in the impersonal Brahman. But that Brahman is the effulgence of the Supreme Person. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmano hi pratistaham amartasya vyayasya cha. I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is indestructible and is a supreme bliss. The Lord is a supreme reservoir of all pleasure, including Brahman pleasure. Therefore, one who has unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead is to be said to be already realized in impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. Yes, Prabhu. यतेन्द्रियैः पृथक्त्वारैः अर्थो बहुगुणाश्रयः एको नानयते तद्वद् भगवान् शास्त्रवर्त्मभिः yata as indriyaihi by the senses, pratakdvaraihi in different ways, an object, bahuguna many qualities, ashrayah endowed with, ekaha one, nana differently, iyate is perceived, tadvat similarly, Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shastravat Smavihi, according to different scriptural instructions. Translation: a single object is appreciated differently by different senses due to its having different qualities. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, but according to different scriptural injunctions, he appears to be different.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have a question related to previous verse, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, Dhanat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu.
Dandot Pranam Prabhu to all of you, Jai Shri Prabhupada. So, Prabhu, my question was that the empiric philosopher, they get a chance to come to Lord by many births at the end. So they get the chance in a sequence birth, or that birth may be after many millions and millions birth, Prabhu.
I think depends on how much progress they make and how fortunate they are, and if they come across a pure devotee. Those things those three variables at least will alter their timing. Is there anything
Prabhu,
else?
the mental speculation is also like something devotional service. Like in devotional service, you get chance in next birth. So, who mentally speculate, will they also make some progress on that?
Yes, Prabhu, because everything is at the end recorded in the mind. Just like even when someone wants to become a great materialist in some sport or anything, they will practice it many lives and they will keep getting better. But it's not a permanent knowledge. At some point, they will lose it also, they can lose it. So it's a difficult path, this path of jnana. You have to always culminate more and more knowledge, speculate more, and it goes life after life. And even then, if you don't come across a pure devotee, then it's like impossible to realize even the beginning stages. Like the basic things, you can only realize that I'm not this body only up to Brahman. I think Paramatma is somehow realizable, but you cannot come to the Bhagavan realization just by this speculation or empirical, culminating empirical knowledge.
So, thank you.
But it will culminate from life after life. But it can also be lost.
So, Prabhu, in Bhagavad Gita, 2-3 places it is said that after many birth, in last you come to the point of Krishna. So I was thinking that is it in a sequence or like it may be millions and trillions of birth?
Yes, Prabhu, sometimes one may go even like in his speculation he may go in the wrong direction, and that will take him like longer time. So it's not like every life he will progress and progress. But if he's done some spiritual activity and his spiritual life has begun, then he will always continue from that where he left in his Krishna consciousness activities. But this material knowledge, it will also come, but like it can be lost also, because someone can be so good at something, but then he can lose that knowledge after some like 10 birds, and like that it can go. I'm not sure if I answered the question. I think maybe others also, if they have some knowledge about this, they have heard.
So yes, Prabhu, others also may share.
Yes, Prabhu. Unless he becomes devotee of Krishna, he cannot. So that is a question, right, Prabhu? If many millions of years or many millions of births, it is possible.
Yeah, and that is the material knowledge. That does it culminate progressively, life after life, like
Like that. Okay.
like the
We would
jnana.
ask,
When someone is learning something, like
does he start from where he left from the
yeah,
previous life?
like he
Oh,
learns I'm not this body by his speculations. Does he continue from that, or can he forget it, or is it like
Oh,
no, Prabhu.
Prabhu, it is like Satwit Prabhu was once telling that some chess players have their talents from previous life.
yes, Prabhu? Yeah, this I also remember. But then he said they can also lose it after becoming the greatest or something. Then it's not guaranteed that you will always keep all the material talents.
Yes, Prabhu. So philosophical research is not spiritual. It's still material. So
Yes, Prabhu.
that knowledge may not carry it forward.
Yes, Prabhu.
It is
And yeah, and in every life, everything has to be relearned also. So
yes, Prabhu.
we
Oh,
also,
Prabhu.
because
So,
no one is
so if
born.
they have,
Yes,
so
Prabhu.
if they have performed some devotional service, that will remain, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, that will definitely remain. Even if he doesn't get any knowledge, he becomes like dull person, then still he will have he wants to do chanting or anything devotion related, so that will come naturally. What verse in it is in Bhagavad Gita that naturally they awaken? There is a verse
Six,
that says directly.
six, 642, I think,
Because
Prabhu.
of
Yes, after 640, there is verses, many verses.
Yes, Prabhu, let's see. There is. Oh, yes, Prabhu, it is 44. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles even without seeking them. Such inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. So then they become automatically attracted by the devotional activities.
And many birth it mentioned two other instances like 719 and 728. 28, yeah, something like that.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Like we are on the path of taking many birds still. and it takes many, many births. We don't know how many lives we have tried to propagate this Krishna consciousness, or if this is the first one, but it's a fact that many, many births we have taken.
Compared to devotional service, the research was physiological research was very much difficult, na Prabhu.
Like what you mean,
So
Prabhu?
Prabhu, skip 7 to
Intelligent
no
person.
to
Is it this one?
28.
Yes.
28.
Persons who have acted piously in previous life and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely
Yes.
eradicated, are free from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination.
Means in many lifetime he will come.
Yes, Prabhu.
In this life and previous life.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. One has to be at least acted piously to be interested in these subject matters. Then he will get attracted. And if he has done a lot, then he will get very attracted early. If he has done less, then he will get less attracted. Maybe he will read few verses. If he's really attracted, he wants to read Bhagavatam many times. Maybe like this. It's different grades. Oh, where we had the translation. Who was reading?
Yes, Prabhu, I'll utter you.
Yes, bro.
A single object is appreciated differently by different senses due to its having different qualities. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, but according to different scriptural injunctions, he appears to be different. Purport. It appears that by following the path of Jnana Yoga or empirical philosophical speculation, one reaches the impersonal Brahman, whereas by executing devotional service in Krishna consciousness, one enriches his faith in and devotion to the Supreme and personality of Godhead. But it is stated here that both Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga are meant for reaching the same destination, the personality of Godhead. By the process of Jnana Yoga, the same personality of God appears to be impersonal, as the same object appears to be different when perceived by different senses. Similarly, the same Supreme Lord appears to be impersonal by mental speculation. A hill appears cloudy from a distance, and one who does not know may speculate that the hill is a cloud. Actually, it is not a cloud, it is a big hill. One has to learn from authority that the sight of the cloud is not actually a cloud but a hill. Hmm. If one makes a little more progress, then instead of a cloud, he sees the hill and something green. When one actually approaches the hill, he will see many varieties. Another example is in perceiving milk. When we see milk, we see that it is white, it appears very cold. Hmm. When we smell milk, it appears to have a very good flavor. And when we hear, we understand that it is called milk. Perceiving milk with different senses, we say that it is something white, something very delicious, something very aromatic, and so on. Actually, it is milk. Similarly, those who are trying to find the Supreme Godhead by mental speculation may approach the bodily effulgence or the impersonal Brahman. And those who are trying to find the Supreme Godhead by yoga practice may find him as a localized supersoul. But those who are directly trying to approach the Supreme Truth by practice of Bhakti Yoga can see him face to face as the Supreme Person. Ultimately, the Supreme Person is a destination of all different processes. The fortunate person who, by following the principles of scriptures, becomes completely purified of all material contamination, surrenders unto the Supreme Lord as everything. Just as one can appreciate the real taste of milk with the tongue not with the eyes, nostrils, or ears. One can similarly appreciate the absolute truth perfectly and with all relishable pleasure only through one path, devotional service. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. If one wants to understand the absolute truth in perfection, he must take to devotional service. Of course, no one can understand the absolute truth in all perfection. That is not possible for the infinitesimal living entities. But the highest point of understanding by the living entity is reached by discharge of devotional service, not otherwise. Oh, if you go back, just want to read the last line again. No one can understand absolute truth in all perfection. That is not possible for the infinitesimal living entities. Okay. That's right. By following various scriptural paths, one may come to the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The transcendental pleasure derived from merging with or understanding the impersonal Brahman is very extensive because Brahman is Ananta. Tat Brahma Nishkalam Anantam. Brahmananda is unlimited. But that unlimited pleasure can also be surpassed. That is the nature of the transcendence. The unlimited can be surpassed also, and the higher platform is Krishna. When one deals directly with Krishna, the mellow and the humor released by reciprocation of devotional service is incomparable, even with the pleasure derived from transcendental Brahman. Prabodhananda Saraswati therefore says that Kaivalya, the Brahman pleasure, is undoubtedly very great and is appreciated by many philosophers. But to a devotee who has understood how to derive pleasure from exchanging devotional service with the Lord, this unlimited Brahman appears to be hellish. One should try, therefore, to transcend even the Brahman pleasure in order to approach the position of dealing with Krishna face to face. As the mind is the center of all activities of the senses, so Krishna is called the master of the senses, Rishikesha. The process is to fix the mind on Rishikesha or Krishna, as Maharaj Ambarisha did. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayoho. Bhakti is the basic principle of all processes. Without bhakti, neither Jnana Yoga nor Ashtanga Yoga can be successful. And unless one approaches Krishna, the principles of self-realization have no ultimate destination. Haribol. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, bro, for reading. Okay, I think now we can go to six Astakam prayers.
So, Prabhu, I have not joined till now because I was watching the Advait Prabhu's video. So, I thought you also was watching that. So, I don't check the Telegram notification.
Yes, bro, we watched until the end almost. So I think you didn't miss many parts because in the beginning we were also watching.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, at what time you started? I mean, which was from which was?
28, I think.
For me, Prabhupada's words.
Yes, but in the beginning we watched the lecture and then we started later. Yeah, from 28.
Mm.
Okay, now let's read six Astakam prayers. Haribol. Cheto darpanam arjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुतिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम्नामकारि बौद्धा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशं हाय जनीननुग्रहा
पुनाविपि सुनिशयनतरोरुपि सहिष्णुनापमानि नमामि देवं कीर्तनीय सा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहितुकी त्वयि नन्दतनुजकिङ्करं पतितं मां विष्णवे भवाम्बुधो कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गदगदहृदयागिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपुकथा तव नामग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमिषेण चक्षुषा प्रवृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दाविर्हेण मे अश्लिष्टवापादरतां पिनष्टमाम् अदर्शनां मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः
Ribo, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and those you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Haribol, Sri Siksastakam ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai Jai
Baujan Makaraya Shravana Kirtan Taputana Pai Krishna Pade Premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many birds, he will not get the love of God, yet that is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the holy name are as follows. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second
Second
offense to
offense.
consider. Continue, bro.
No, Prabhu, you can continue.
Second offense to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third offense is to disobey the orders of spiritual master or to think of him as an ordinary person.
Fourth offense to blaspheme.
Fourth offense is to blaspheme. Yes, please.
Sorry, bro. Please continue. Okay. Fourth offense to blaspheme Vedic literature and persons of the Vedic quotient.
Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth offense to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Eighth offense is to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Ninth offense is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. And tenth offense is to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah.
Nanda Gaudiya Vaishnava ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai
Prem
Jai
Namaste, Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you for all devotees for joining this reading session. It was really nice.
No, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Prabhu.
Nice discussions also, really nice. Hari Bol. See you tomorrow again.
Thank you.